So we've never dug this deep into like childhood traumas and kind of recognizing. I've always addressed family history because it's nice to know where you come from. It's nice to know what cultures you come from and really analyze that relationship with your father. Recognize the things that even a bad dad did well, and those are things we'd want to replicate. A human is not all bad or all good. There's usually both positive and negative traits and qualities. Look at the bad things they did, the things you don't want to replicate, and be very aware of that. And then look at the good things they did and be very aware of that and try and replicate those.
Totally.
A lot of what we hear is, hey, this is how I was raised and I turned out fine. It's hard to maybe break those patterns sometimes, but recognizing it, that just because I was raised that way and I turned out fine doesn't mean it's a thing that we should replicate.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of work to be done here, man. And I'm glad you do ask about the father, because like who could be more impactful in especially a man's life other than the father? Like that's who we saw as being the example of a man. And he had and we have as fathers now with our children, like more influence than almost any other relationship in the entire world. Probably like the most influential relationship of anyone. And in this, you're so right that there's a good and a bad. And I think that we can get to a place where we are grateful for each. And so we do in men's group something called a father share, where we tell our father's story, his biography, how we felt with him growing up, everything about him. And then we say, here's something I see in my father that I see in myself. And we can go deeper even after that, where sometimes I get guys to write a letter. Don't send it. But if you think you can go there, write a letter to your dad. What do you want him to know? Where are you still angry at him? What do you see in him that you see in yourself? And then can you imagine your dad as a little boy, a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old who came into this world with none of the traits that he might have had as a father? And can you see him as just a little bit innocent? Can you just see him as being a little boy like you once were, like your son or daughter is today? And when you can get to that point, at least for me in my life, and this takes a lot of work because a lot of us have a lot of blame to our father still. I know that I had to go through anger toward my father before I could forgive him. But the point is, we can forgive our fathers and then be grateful for both the good and the bad. And man, this is like epic heart exploding work in sort of the best sense of the word. It like relieved so much pressure for me. And it also allowed me to just like move into the present. I wasn't like, oh, I'm like this because my dad left my mom and he did this and he did this. It's like, look, I like myself today. I'm very happy with who I am today. I'm grateful for who I am today. And